All right. Well, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself and where you live, and then we'll dive in.
Yeah. My name's Anthony Odom. So I live in Rockwell, North Carolina, just about 30 minutes north of Charlotte. So we live small town, but we have access to all the big town stuff whenever we need it. So married to my wife, Catherine, been married 7 years, and our son, Francis, whom we adopted from the Philippines, will be 13 next month. So he's been home about 2.5 years from the Philippines. And so I just love my family, love their support through this fitness journey that we're going to talk about today. So that's who I am.
And talk about your ministry just a little bit.
Yeah. So I'm a student pastor and a worship pastor at a smaller church here in Rockwell. So love my students. I love being able to pour into them. Also involved in several public school ministries as well. So I do Bible clubs in both our local elementary school and then our middle school and local high school as well. So in there one time a week, just telling everybody I can about Jesus. So love the opportunities that I've been given through ministry to do that.
Cool. Okay. So walk us through kind of where you were before, we started working together. Tell about that journey.
Yeah, yeah. So in ministry, stayed super busy. Just tried to do all the things that I can. That's my personality. So my desire to fit in as much as I can, show up for kids' ball games and school events, and then tried to just keep tacking on to the church calendar with events and parties and stuff like that. Just trying to again, just try to love on the students that God's placed under my care, and the busyness of life really allowed me to eat unhealthy and not really think about it. To just skip over any sort of exercise or any sort of fitness, just because I was doing other things and things that I thought were better, and they were good things, but I started feeling some burnout. Started feeling you started slowing down in a real way, in a big way. And then, like I mentioned, we adopted our son, Francis, who was an older child. He was 11, almost 11 when we brought him home, and super active kid. So just on the go all the time, wanting to have a ball in his hand. Daddy, let's play basketball. Daddy, let's kick soccer ball. Daddy, let's do this. And 220-pound me just was not keeping up. So it was just very, very discouraging, that I couldn't keep up with my son after this journey of the adoption process and finally getting him home. And then I just felt like I wasn't able to help him enjoy all the things that he wanted to enjoy. And then a couple months after he was home, he started making comments about daddy being fat and daddy's big belly and all of those things. And it was super convicting, and really just a dagger to the heart, to hear your son notice that and not see me taking care of myself in a healthy way. And so I tried to do some things for my own, but just lack of knowledge and lack of understanding of what my body needed to lose weight and what I needed to do. And then through divine providence, I was scrolling social media and came across a shared post by Ryan, who's a mutual friend that I went to college with, and he introduced me to Charlie through that capacity. And I reached out just on a whim, didn't tell my wife about it, didn't say nothing. Just, hey, I'm gonna reach out to this guy. I don't know, but I'm just desperate at this point. And through your coaching and your guidance and friendship, I am a completely different man now than I was, well, since we started this journey. But I mean, really, I'm a different man than I have been in 10 plus years, from a physical standpoint.
So before we started working, um, were there things that you were unable to do that maybe some of that weight was causing issues with?
Yeah, I was born with a congenital heart disease. So growing up, just there was a big surgery that needed to take place. And so my parents were super cautious. And just, under doctor's guidance, they were like, just don't overexert yourself, don't lift weights, don't run distances, don't do anything like that. So growing up, I was very limited in those aspects, and just really became kind of an excuse, like, oh man, like I can't run, I have a heart condition, or somebody asked me to go to the gym. No, I mean, I can't do that. Like I've got this heart disease, and have had two open heart surgeries. The last one happened July of 2018. So we're good. We're fixed. The mechanical valve is in, and so the doctors have given like full clearance, and they've been pushing me to do this. And every time I would go in for the yearly checkup, they were like, "Man, like you starting to, you keep adding weight." And every time I went in, they would make those comments and that. But again, I just didn't have the experience to allow me to know what I needed to do in the gym. Didn't have the knowledge of knowing how to eat properly and well. So then it just became an excuse in my mind. And then I was just tired of excuses and tired of finding ways to justify the me being overweight and being completely out of shape.
How did it feel when the doctors kind of started noticing the increase?
Yeah, it was funny because we started and I had dropped about 10-ish, 10, 12 pounds. Um, back up. When we started, I literally saw my cardiologist the next week. So it was kind of too soon to
Remember that.
have any sort of change. But I told him all about it, and he's a younger doctor who's super fit and understands all of that. So he kind of gave me some guidance on how to keep my heart rate in check and all of this sort of stuff while working out and all that. So he was super optimistic. But month and a half later, I went to my family doctor who I'd seen for 10 years. And I had dropped about 12 pounds, I think, when I went to him, and he was already like, "Yeah, let's do this. You've got this." So I saw the cardiologist again back in September, and at that point I was down 40 pounds since the last time I saw him, and he literally walked in and stopped and said, "You look totally different." And so like he recognized it instantly, being a year since he had saw me, and then my family doctor saw him a couple weeks ago, and yeah, he was all about it. So it's super. Um, it just feels great. Like it feels like the hard work is paying off and it's being noticed. Obviously, church people are recognizing it. Um, I mean, still, someone Wednesday night mentioned something about like, Anthony, you still losing weight because we still think you're slimming up, and stuff. And so, I mean, every time, not to bring any sort of glorification to myself, but I mean, it sounds good to the ear to hear that.
I'm sure. I'm sure. So before we got started, what were your thoughts going into the process?
I knew that I had to be 100% in. And that's maybe just my personality with it, but I knew I could. And you had sent me all these options. We could do it this way, or we could, maybe do a little nutrition and a little this. And I told you that like, I had to commit myself 100%. And I needed to see quick results to keep me motivated, um, because I knew it was going to be hard. So I knew it was going to be challenging. I was intimidated, um, just because this was all new to me. Never in my life had I eaten correctly. Never had eaten or never had gone to the gym, never worked out in that capacity, with barbells or dumbbells or machines or nothing. The treadmill was about the extent of my knowledge of the weight room before this journey. So very, very intimidated. But I mean, Charlie, you were just a godsend in providing encouragement and guidance and just the being the cheerleader that I needed to just do it. And so we just jumped. And then once we jumped, or I jumped, yeah, results started happening pretty quick. And then that was all the motivation I needed, just to keep going. And here we are now, what, 15 months later, something like that. And now like I can't imagine going back and eating the unhealthy stuff and not being the way that I am now. Like I can't imagine it.
Side note, would you say that it's become more of a lifestyle?
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
absolutely. It's like before, like I when I eat, like I never considered the nutrition element of it. I just eat. Now it's just I literally like plan my day. I get up in the morning, and my wife has been amazing. In supporting me and changing the way that we cook and changing what she prepares. Like now she's a big fast food girl. She loves her, McDonald's and Burger King and all of that. But like we just found ways to like navigate, that balance. But now I just, we go places. I'm constantly considering, hey, I've had this today, or I will have this later today. So right now I need to eat this to balance this out. And yeah, and so now, things that I just put in my mouth and eat and not think twice about it. Now like I'm literally, thinking through thinking through everything, and the planning and organization is really the to me it's been the key in being successful with it.
for your first day, did you have any doubts or fears?
Yeah, I think more on the the weightlifting aspect of it. So when I initially had reached out to you, my initial thought was just, I'm just going to change about the way I eat, what I eat. And then we start messaging, and you start throwing out, all these workout ideas and going to the gym and doing this and that. And I was just like, I'm not cut out for that. Like I cannot walk into the gym with all these guys who know what they're doing and has been doing this for their entire lives, and Fatso showing up and trying to do this and that and got no clue. Um, so the gym aspect of it was what was very doubtful for me. But worked out this morning, and I feel great and I feel confident. And those fears have subsided. I mean, they're still comparison to real things. So you go in there and see all these other guys and whatnot, but still I feel confident. And again, your exposure to what I need to be doing, your attention to details, and how to do the exercises and doing them well, and the reps and the sets and all the things. Like it's just helped me overcome the fears. And yeah, I'm seeing results even in the muscle gain and all of that as well. So a total change about in the last 13 months.
Yeah, you've been absolutely cranking. Um, I know he sets records for those watching. He sets records every workout, like every time. So
Yeah,
it's totally
we
possible.
just start low, and then you can break those records easier, but no, it's good.
So despite never having done anything competitive sports or fitness or cardio or anything like that, and then despite never having really dieted or anything like that before, what made you say yes anyway?
Because change needed to happen. So I was tired of having to keep buying new clothes because I keep, I went from large to extra large like that. So like it was probably in a matter of like 6 months. Like I had just finally like bought new clothes, size large, because I was kept adding weight, and then it was no time that here I am having to buy new clothes again. That just because I guess I kept getting bigger, I kept growing, and not in the good way. And I was just I was exhausted. I was just exhausted. I didn't feel well, didn't sleep well, woke up restless every morning. And then my family was the biggest motivation. Um, I wanted to keep up with my son. Here he was, and we're trying to give him a life that he was not going to have where he was in the Philippines. And yet I felt like I was being a detriment to that environment, just because I couldn't do all the things he wanted to do. I couldn't be the dad that I wanted to be. And I knew I wasn't being the husband I needed to be. And so my family and then my ministry just wanted to be a good example for my students, wanted to, them not to be embarrassed by, their fat youth pastor and, wanted them just to look up to me. And I also wanted to show them that, hey, when you're determined to do something, you can do it. And so I wanted to overcome, this aspect of my life that needed to be gone. And yeah, I'm very thankful to be where I am 13 months later. And I keep throwing that number out there because
Yeah.
it's crazy to me that it's doesn't feel like it's been that long. Um, and in that short amount of time, just to see the results have been staggering to me.
Let's talk about those for a second. So where did you start? Where are you now?
Yeah, so when I reached out to you, I was about 212. But the highs was about 220 earlier that year. Um, and so yeah, so just I mean, basically all in the belly and the chest and the back. I mean, that's where all the excess weight was, that's where all the fat was. And obviously no muscle at all. Other than the legs, I don't know, for some reason the legs have always been half decent. Obviously a lot stronger now, but they've never had any, noticeable fat growth. Um, Sorry if the terminology's off. I'm not the expert like Charlie is here. But yeah, it was just all up top was 220. Roughly when kind of this thought came through like, hey, I've got to do something. But 212 when I kind of officially started with you. And then this week I was at 165.4. And that's taken into consideration all the muscle growth, but you tell me adds whatever the poundage is there. So supplement that. So almost 50 pounds, off just a few pounds shy of that, which we will hit that by the end of the calendar year. I have no doubt. Preferably before Christmas, so I can splurge a little bit Christmas week because that's going to happen either way. But it'll make me feel better about it if I'm hit that 160 goal that I'm kind of shooting for. So yeah, that's where we are, and totally different. Obviously, most of the fat is gone. Got a little work left to do in that regard, but yeah, the body looks totally different.
How's it feel now?
I feel like I'm 50 pounds lighter. Literally, like it's I still get I'm still shocked every time I look at the before and afters, which I did this week, and it's been a couple months since I've done a comparison aspect of it, but I was very curious this week, and yeah, but I mean it's great. I actually boxed up some shirts and clothes that were size medium from way back when, just because I'm a pack rat. I hold on to things. I hate letting things go. So I always play the what if game. And so most of my clothes that I outgrew, I got rid of. Um, but there were some things that I hung on to, and I pulled all those out, and I'm literally went from an XL back to a medium. Um, Having to buy more clothes, doggone it. But yeah, so it was kind of as quickly as I went from a large to extra large is how quickly again I went from a large back to a medium. It really that transition back to a medium happened probably within the last 3 months. But everything I buy now, I mean, I just bought new pants on Black Friday, all the things, and it feels great. Feels great. Went back to a consignment shop yesterday and dumped off the last bit of my XL clothing. Made some money back from that. But all the XL stuff is officially out of the house. Um, and because
That's awesome.
I have no intention of going back to that. None. So
So in addition to having to buy new clothes, what are things that you can do now that you could not before?
I can lift weights in the weight room. Like I can, I bench. I can do all these different, exercises and machines. But even here at the church, I mean, even this morning, there's getting stuff ready for Christmas here. I mean, like I'm moving containers, I'm moving stuff that like normally I'd have to have help with. There's stuff at home, projects and things like that that I'm doing now that, before, it would take me days or weeks to accomplish just because I did not have the stamina to keep going with them. And, Christmas lights, normally that would take me about a 3 or 4 day process. Now I'm moving easier. I've got, just overall strength and, now I'm knocking them things out in a couple hours and just the everyday life stuff just feels easier. Not as tired, able to make it through the day well and not feel exhausted, by lunchtime. And yeah, just life feels a lot lighter right now.
Has this affected anyone around you?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Francis admires all the time the hard work that I put into it. He recognizes that, which for being a guy coming where he came from, and still blows my mind that he sees that, But he tells me all the time, like, "Daddy, I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you." And he recognizes it. I mean, Cat, like, not intentionally, but like Cat's, you know, lost some weight as well. Like just us just overall eating better, eating healthier, just watching, what we eat and all of that. Like it's helped her, not that she needed to, but like she's feeling better. She's made those comments as well. So yeah, yeah. And it's been an encouragement. I mean, there's been other people that have reached out to me through social media and has, seen changes and they said, "Hey, we've got to get on board." I know a couple have reached out to you and they wanted to know how I did it. And I'm like, it's that guy. It's, it's I just do what he tells me to do. But yeah, it's yeah, it's definitely a spiral. I'll say that.
You're talking me up. I appreciate it.
No,
Okay.
no, literally, yeah, no, literally. Wednesday night, like, I'll keep doing it. I'll sing your praises because, literally, like Wednesday night, one of the men in the church asked me how I was doing it, and I told him briefly, and they started asking some questions, and I said, "You're getting over my head now. Like that's a Charlie question because like I don't understand all the details of it. I understand a lot more now than I used to, for sure. But just having somebody for accountability was huge. But then somebody that like I would literally text at 11 o'clock at night or 5 o'clock in the morning, even with the time change, and like he's going to get back, like he's going to answer my question. And so like you have just helped me navigate this whole thing. Um, that it's taken the pressure off of me to try to figure out what I need to do, and just allowed me just to do it. And that's been honestly a key component to my success. So I would not be here without you, dude. So I appreciate you.
I appreciate you. So, last question for you. What would you tell somebody who's watching and is unsure about taking their next step?
Don't overthink it and just do it. Don't. I was in my head for too long about it, and played the what if game or played the comparison game or, undercut my abilities or the potential that I had, and just started again trying to make as many excuses as I could. Hide under well, this weight is okay because I'm a youth pastor and I love my kids and I show up for them and I have to eat concession stand food or, fast food all the time because I'm trying to keep. And I don't try to think yourself too much about it. Just jump and do it. Start, and once you start, especially what I found, if you jump 100% in, you're going to see results quick. And especially being as overweight as I was, it was easy for those first several pounds just to get off. And so just do that. And once you start seeing those results and you start feeling better, then it's invigorating, and it's addicting, and it makes you want to just keep going. And so just jump, quit thinking, just do it.
Well, no truer words have been spoken. I appreciate you encouraging everybody, and I'm hoping
Yeah,
that they will make the kind of progress that you did.
yeah. Reach out to this guy. He'll he'll be there every step of it. So even 13 months later, he's still there. So I love it.
Cool. Well, I appreciate you. I'm gonna stop recording.